welcome everybody to another edition of the Miss Bomey Zone. Otis 71, first one in the chat room. Well, this is going to be interesting. Are you there? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you might have left and went and. How does a lady who does computers for a living go, "Where's the refresh button?" Are you kidding me? That's the circle up in the upper left. Well, he didn't want you to mistake him for a target and shoot him, so he didn't say reload. So the psychology of conspiracy theories. One of the interesting things that I was, wow, I had a lot of fun today looking at stuff. First, let me say, you have some people that are going to be from out of country and stuff like that that are going to be listening to this because you're getting all popular and stuff. Super special, little miss. Listen to me while you're in your shower. Yeah, okay. So for all those folks in the shower club, hi. My eyes are up here. Okay, they're up here. So if your wife walks in and says, "Why is there a strange man in the shower with you?" you can say, "It's not John. It's Christine. John needs therapy. He's got problems." Yep, Soccer Steve's in the house. Smile Money's in the house. Hello to all of you. So one of the things that I learned was a lot of people don't acknowledge what a conspiracy theory is. All right, and now you can have lots of identities for conspiracy theories, but take away all those and just say what is a conspiracy theory. So if you have an idea or a belief, okay, that this is that way, or this behaves like this, or this is a product of that, all right, and somebody tells you that's wrong, and you believe that they're telling you that that's wrong to try to cover it up for a different reason. They're trying to cover this up. Stop other people from knowing the truth. That's when it becomes a conspiracy. Okay, so literally anything can be a conspiracy theory. Literally anything. So that's why when you said the psychology of conspiracy theory, I thought, wow, that'll be interesting because what is a conspiracy theory? It's literally anything. Tell him to quit showing you pictures. I'm trying to have a radio show with her. Her husband just keeps putting his phone in her face. Go, look at that. That's funny. No, don't do the show. Look at this instead. Look at my phone. But oh yeah. But so yeah, conspiracy theory can literally be anything. You 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 can you can just punch him now. Just punch him now. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me check this bandwidth. Are they? Hold on. I think there's a conspiracy theory. Here's what I think. Because I'm sitting here talking, and you're on. You're on,
Yeah.
but it's saying you're not on. So hold on
Well,
1
they're saying
second.
that they can't hear me.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Hold on. They can hear you now. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's go back to where you were a minute ago. Okay, you said you were going to kick the shit out of Eric because he was behaving like a child. They didn't hear that.
Yeah,
they didn't hear that part. I don't have a clue why does this keep happening?
I don't know.
It's a conspiracy.
That's what somebody said in the chat room. Gunwild said that. He just joined us too.
Yeah, Eric was working on it, so I think he might have fixed it till it was broke, Steve.
That's what I do best. Ask Smile Money.
Okay, now that I've got you reloaded here, okay, so you should be good. So let's start again where you were talking about where you had discovered what they were saying a conspiracy theory was.
Yeah, so once they got the definition of what is conspiracy theory is, which basically what you were saying, that it can be, anything. Most of the time that they were things that I ran across were talking about like things that are so devastating that sometimes we just can't wrap our head around it. And that, to make sense of it, some people come up with all kinds of conspiracy theories. They're also saying stuff about how their people or human beings do like pattern recognition, and they talked about that in great detail, also. So there was a couple of different avenues that you really could have gone on this one as far as looking at the psychological end of things and trying to make sense from it from that standpoint. Some of the people that I listened to and things that I read, they did pose a good argument, for and against it. So there was a lot out there.
Yeah, I found that it becomes a negative situation when it seems like whenever someone believes there's a motivation to stop the truth from coming out. Okay, because you have conspiracy. Like, in other words, you might wonder, like, what the hell is John talking about? Okay, like a religious conspiracy theory. Think about this. Are there any religious conspiracy theories you've heard of? I mean, like big conspiracy theories. But we're talking like it's been going on for over almost 1,000 years. Yeah, right around 1,000 years.
Oh.
The Bible.
One theory that somebody has that became a conspiracy, and now it's oh no, it's just a conspiracy theory. Don't look over here. It's not true. It's all lies. Have you heard of one? I'm surprised you haven't. You should have said yes by now. The Vatican.
I would say the Catholics.
Well, it's specifically the Vatican. They say that below the Vatican in the archives is hidden all these different truths that they don't want anybody to know. They're going back.
Oh yeah, like the Book of Thomas supposedly is supposed to be there.
And the Knight Templar and how they were killed off because of political stuff and all of that. And there's all kinds of pieces of history like that go through religious history that they say are now it's just that people say they're there. I don't happen to know because I'm not privy. Pope doesn't contact me and go, yeah, it's here, no problem. He doesn't talk to me at all. But they say that they're down there and they're being protected and hidden from the rest of the world because they don't want people to know those truths of the history of the Catholic Church. So that's a religious conspiracy theory. That's the theory. Mm-hmm. And they're saying it's a conspiracy because the church is conspiring to keep the truth from being known by all the people.
Well, that was one thing that I found interesting that when I was going through the research, there was like, I forget what his name was, but he was talking about the fact that if people are trying to withhold the truth from you, you can only do that for so long because eventually the truth does come out. I can't remember what the example was that he used when he was doing it. I was actually listening to him on YouTube. He was kind of doing a lecture of sorts, and I'm sorry, I forget the guy's name that I was listening to. But I thought, well, that's kind of interesting because really, when you think about it, that kind of is a pattern onto itself where if people are trying to suppress the truth, the more that they try to suppress it, eventually it does, get out into the open.
Right, and then you also have, the realm of the foolish conspiracy theory, which is,
Hmm.
I'm calling it that because that's when, okay, I'll use Eric since he's got big shoulders and he can handle any of this stuff I throw at him. So we'll say Eric totally BS's a story, and for some reason don't know why he did that. Doesn't make any sense. Then it's found out that he did. It comes out, so people know now. So now whatever he has to say is pretty much viewed as possibly being a way to eliminate the truth from people knowing it. So you can
Hmm.
have people the government can do, or a government can do something wrong, hide the truth
Hmm.
and lie, and then everything becomes suspect, right? Which is where it becomes easier for that person who does it because they can go, see, everything they do, they say is a conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy, and it becomes so laughable that even when they're going to do it, people don't still believe that it is.
Smile Money made a comment saying to say that Sandy Hook didn't happen the whole time was paid off to continue the lie. Well, that's an
There,
interesting theory.
there are those that say that as well. I'm not
Hmm.
going to be. I'm not going to be giving a yay or a nay as to my opinion on stuff.
I,
But I'm
I would like to comment on that. I believe the whole thing was bullshit, and it was said multiple times in probably brew reviews. And I had a long time friend. He sent me a private message, and he said, "Blankety blank," because I know this is Christine's show and not mine. "Blankety blank, go blank yourself." I had friends, personal friends, that lost children that day, and you can just blankety blank, and I'm unsubbed, and he never talked to me again. And this was a guy who had been a YouTube friend for a couple of years. So I
Yeah,
personally don't know what to think because he is the only evidence, the only conversation that I had with anybody to go in contrary to the videos I've seen where they're looping the people through the building to look like there's more. And personally, just knowing the way our government works, I personally think it never happened. I agree with Smile Money.
and he does bring up a good point because he says there's no way more than 5 people can keep a secret. That was another thing that they talk about from a psychological standpoint is how people's behavior when you're told something like, okay, this is a secret, don't say anything. How many people can keep it in and for how long, and then there's people that will spill the beans instantaneously because they just can't keep a secret.
yep. And just so everybody knows, I'm not committing to any belief or anything like that right now because I just want to talk about the behavior behind it. Is where I want to come
Yes.
from. I don't want to have, well, I feel this way or I feel that way. Everybody else is welcome to. Please do if you want to. That's fine. I'm just saying for me, I'm just going to be talking about that psychology behind it. So like what you just said there, the more than 5 people keeping a secret. That is another interesting thing because some of these conspiracies that are out there uh, have remained the same for so long. Then all of a sudden, you'll hear a piece of information that'll shock you. Like it's like for me,
Mhm.
I don't know who shot Kennedy. Honestly, and I'm telling you the truth, I do not know who shot Kennedy. All right, but
Mhm.
Boom.
I did see an I don't know. I'm talking about who pulled the trigger. I don't know. I have no clue. I have my own beliefs and things like that. But one of the interesting things that just ran across, I was talking to Eric about it maybe a week or so ago, was that they were just talking. I mean, I'm watching it on Discovery Channel, and they're talking about they found the windshield for Kennedy's car. It had a bullet hole in it. Bullet hole was going the wrong way. It was going into the car.
Mhm.
So and then they just went, wow, that's strange. The bullet hole's going into the car. And they moved right on. Then for now, you see them finding that and they're packing it away. They're putting it away. They got to keep that and all that. Then all of a sudden you're sitting there in your you're sitting there in your brain going, hold on a minute. What do you mean it went in through the front?
Yeah.
How did it go through the front?
Yep.
If he was shot from behind, how did a
How
bullet
did it
go
go through
through
the
the
front?
front of the windshield? And
Yeah.
then the next thing comes out is, and they didn't give you any information. They just glazed right over it. And the guy went, and then all of a sudden he stops and specifically puts out a piece of information, which sometimes people might call misleading or intentionally misleading. He said, for no reason, well, it looks like that windshield was replaced to, keep the car looking good and spiffy for display purposes. I'm sitting there going, what? Didn't they keep all the spots and all that on Kennedy's car as they were? So you had, they preserved history, but yet that specific window was changed. And then just happened to later on go, and it has a bullet hole in it. So, I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting too, because the other piece of that, kind of along that lines, when I was looking at or doing the research today, they were talking about how how we process information. So like when something devastating happens, like 9/11, where we had all of these massive amount of deaths, and there's really no clear explanation, and we have a hard time wrapping it around our head. Some people automatically will gravitate to a conspiracy theory first and foremost. Then there's other people that might take a step back, look at the information, try to wrap their head around it, but maybe they can't, and then eventually they might gravitate towards a conspiracy theory. So the thought process and the behavior behind it was very interesting when I was looking at all this stuff.
And that's where a lot of times, like I was saying before, you can have somebody who was deceptive in the past.
Yeah.
Who you've, okay, I shouldn't say deceptive in the past. I'll say it like this. You can have somebody or an entity or a group that you feel has deceived you in the past. And being as they've deceived you in the past, you feel it's very easy for you to head down that path, okay? And that's a psychological behavior, all right? That
right.
When a person feels they've been deceived, and you might think, what's he talking? You can attribute it right to relationships, all right? Your girlfriend in high school, she was walking around with Billy behind the bleachers. I've been deceived. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, do you trust anything that comes out of her mouth? No.
No.
I feel deceived. So whenever you feel deceived, there's a psychological behavior that comes with it.
Yes. Right? Anytime that you have deception, you're going to have a behavior, which is going to be, the reaction to, make a decision and say, okay, yeah, I don't believe this. I think that there's more to it and that they're hiding it. And the other thing that they talked about too was bringing up the fact that there was a conspiracy in regards to Watergate, but that actually was proven.
Yep.
So then you've got that group of people that kind of have that attitude of saying, well, they did prove this, so maybe there is something to all of these theories.
Right. And then you have people. Now I'm going to mention a piece of history. Go look it up yourself, okay? I am not speaking ill of a man who has passed away. I'm simply going to quote a moment in history. Senator John McCain was in the naval flight deck of a specific ship. Just go look this up yourselves. It's very easy to find. And an incident took place, which resulted in loss of life. Now, there's a lot of people who are incredibly pissed off. I also am one of those people that it seemed as if he got a really easy walk through the whole thing, which then begins a whole distrust of a certain process that those in a higher position or those that know the right people can get away with really bad things.
Right.
But I mean, so that's believed to be a conspiracy. That now, what's the reason that took place? Is it a father's love of his son, where he is just protecting his son, or what was it? You have to explore that yourself. But I'm giving you an example of a conspiracy theory where something happened, all right, and then distrust is believed to have been built by somebody getting away with something, and it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look that up. I don't want to quote the vessel. I don't know the vessel. You'll have to actually look that up. But if you put Senator John McCain incident on flight deck, it had to be an aircraft carrier. So
Mhm.
Just put that down. You'll be able to read the story of what took place, and then you can see how the court martial proceedings went and all that stuff, and you can determine your own if you feel that there was actually something being done inappropriately there. I, for one, don't appreciate the way it was handled. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite the chat going on in the chat room this evening. I see
Well,
Brian has joined us,
hello,
and
Brian.
they're talking about the moon. That was another, that's another big conspiracy theory that's out there that people have their opinions for it.
Base station.
But here's the one that this is the one that I find to be rather. I don't want to be. There's a lot of people that feel a certain way, and I'm going to respect your feelings. Okay. I'm not with you on the moon thing. I'm one of those people who has had possession of the big telescope and who has pointed it at the moon and saw things that are on the moon. They're sitting there. They're actually there. Now, I only asked myself one simple thing. It was 1969, and I was very young, and I did watch the thing on black and white TV. And could I have been fooled? Why, certainly I could have been. But then I asked myself as I'm looking through a telescope going, wait a minute. That's sitting on the moon. Holy crap. And then I go, okay, how'd it get there? Didn't somebody have to land there and put it there? It's kind of hard to hide a launch. You know what I mean? It's a little I guess you could go to another country and launch from there to fake the whole thing, but I'm not quite sure where people have that. I mean, I don't know. I'm of the belief that it's not a hoax. So that's just me, though. Everybody's locked in their phones now. Come on. You're pulling an Eric on me here.
Well, I'm sorry. I was trying to look up something because what you said, it reminded me of something else that I was trying to look up really quick. But yeah, like I said, it was interesting, and people are going to have their own opinions and their own beliefs one way or another, as far as that goes. There's people that do believe in the kind of conspiracy theories that are out there. They talked about like the popular ones like JFK, the moon, something else I can't remember. I'm watching John pour a drink.
That's what you believe. I'm actually having a glass of agua.
That's some funny little water you got going on there, John.
Yeah, it's a screwdriver. I know. But yeah, so there's lots of different things. When a person believes, though, that somehow deception has come into the game and they believe that it's being hidden from it, that's when this belief becomes a conspiracy. Okay, it's a conspiracy for that person. They're hiding it from me. Why? I don't know why. They don't want the truth to come out. Why don't they want the truth to come out?
Because I think, and this is what I kind of got out of, watching all the stuff and doing the research today, is if it's the truth is out there and it's so devastating, we as people, human beings, and I'm calling everybody on the planet a human being, is not able to process that, to handle it, to digest it. It's too much for our brains. This is their opinion, not mine.
They've got movies out about this, and people don't realize it. They're comedies. They're comedies, but that's the same principle behind Men in Black. That this great big conspiracy is actually so big and so over orchestrated because your little brains can't handle
it. Yeah. So kind of in a sense, they're saying that we're stupid because our brains can't handle it.
They're going to smile.
I thought it was interesting.
Like the Men in Black, they're going to erase your mind with the flashy thing.
The flashy thing, yeah.
And Stalker Steve says that I did not see anything on the moon. It was a scratch that was on the lens of my telescope. But the funny thing is the scratch comes and goes, Steve. And it looks like a little lunar rover. It's got like a little antenna thing on. So maybe there's a picture that just appears, or somehow or they do it. I don't know.
And the other thing too is that people who believe in conspiracies, they have an ability to find meaningful patterns in the world around us, making their opinions known that because of these patterns there must be a conspiracy behind it.
Well, you can make, and that's another thing I learned was you can make anything into a conspiracy. You can find a pattern of
Anything
anything.
yeah. In anything you can find a pattern. So I thought it was interesting that they were bringing up, just some of those types of things.
Now, there'll be people that will be of the belief, see how these people are? They're all freaking crazy. Bunch of conspiracy theorists running around. But then remember this. They've also been right. There has been conspiracies that were proven to be fact. All right. And so now you're like, okay, so you have one group that's like, if it's about them, say they work for the government, it's about the government. Well, then they're like, oh, no, they're all wackos. See, look at them. They're doing wackos, just crazy.
Yeah.
You can't take everybody and put them into a crazy lump because the people that are saying that also, believe it or not, have a conspiracy theory. They believe that the paranoid people are out to get them. Help! The paranoids are after me.
Well, and I think
you
too.
Didn't even laugh. You didn't even laugh. That was funny.
Sorry, I'm just like on a serious note. I'm doing the serious.
You have to be paranoid to say help. The paranoids are after me.
Okay. All right then.
All right. Well, my joke went over, and I'll put that down for the doctor tomorrow. Christine doesn't laugh.
Sorry. I was in serious mode. Sorry. Serious mode. But the other thing too that they were saying that is, especially when that we feel that events are beyond our control or anything is beyond our control, that's more likely when we're going to gravitate towards conspiracy theories, which I thought was interesting.
Now, I wish they wouldn't say it like that because what they do there is they dismiss. No,
that's what I'm saying. That's very interesting that they are being very dismissive about it.
Because that's where you do the whole. That's where a person can do the whole. Oh, you're all a bunch of crazies. And they go, well, people that feel this way and kind of lean left when they walk, they have a tendency to move towards conspiracies. And it's like, well, hold on. You just dismissed a whole group of people and said there's something wrong with them, right? And whenever you say there's something wrong with them because they're like this, that's a theory. That's a theory. And you believe that they're conspiring against your beliefs, so that's a conspiracy theory. So the people that are saying that also have their own conspiracy theories. That's what I got out of all of this was
it is. And like this one guy here that I'm looking at, he made the comment here saying that the attractiveness of conspiracy theory may arise from a number of cognitive bases characterized the way that we process information. Confirm information bias is the most persuasive cognitive bias. I can't talk tonight. And powerful drive to believe in conspiracies. We all have the natural inclination to give more weight to evidence that supports what we already believe and ignore the evidence that contradicts our beliefs. And I thought that was a really good. If you listen or think about that, the contradictions to our beliefs and what we ignore and what we accept.
Oh yeah. But now also to be play devil's advocate here, there are some things where you don't have to even believe. You can see it. Okay, you can see it. You put your hand on the stove. It's hot. Okay, there it's hot. You don't have to know that. You can just see the stove stuff. That's fire.
Right.
Okay, but now there are people that believe that people tend to believe what they see and not believe the explanation of what they saw. Now, let me dive a little bit deeper into that. There are people that watched. Now imagine, I watched this thing. It was coming down towards Earth really fast. Seemed to have a fire trail to it, and then I heard a huge explosion.
Yeah.
So we called the sheriff and said, something's happened down the road at Bob Johnson's field. I don't know what it was, but it was like a bomb went off. And they go, It was a weather balloon. Hold on. The sheriff's got it over at the station, and he holds up some pieces of tattered aluminum going, weather balloon. And you go, wait, hold on. Well, wait. Large thing coming out of the sky, fire coming out of it, big boom, boom, earth shakes, weather balloon.
Yeah.
So when you have that one just seems like, they're going, the stove is not hot. Yeah, but it's got fire out. The stove is not hot. You're not paying attention. I'm trying to explain to you that your belief that the stove is hot is not the truth. It may seem as if it's hot because you see fire. But here, let me take your hand. Look, I'm putting it on the bottom, the underside of the stove. What do you feel? Is that cold? Yes, it is cold, right? So fire doesn't mean the stove is hot. You're like, hold on a minute. How are you? You can also make the truth seem like a fallacy if you work at it. So if you turn on the stove and the gas, you hear the click, 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 here comes the gas, the flames come out, you go, that's hot. And I go, no, it's not. What? I'll put your hand on the bottom of the stove. Is the stove hot, Christine? No. So see, fire doesn't always mean the stove is hot. You, Christine, are acknowledging for the world that fire does not always mean it's hot.
Yeah.
So you have people that play that kind of BS game too, and you're like, wait a minute, you're believing what you think you saw, but in actuality, it was a weather balloon.
Manipulation. What did you have to say there, Eric? He's sitting over here patiently, waiting to say something.
Oh, like 2 hours back in the chat room.
Yeah. Right.
Stalker Steve had an excellent point. Something that I've thought about for years was the Bible written just to try to take our puny little minds off of what happens when we die,
or the fear of death in general?
Is the Bible the biggest conspiracy ever written, or is it real?
Or is it a book of explanations trying to help people get their way through life?
And this is great. I'm glad to see everybody in the chat room is making, comments and coming up with examples, and we can look at this from, an opinion and our behavior and whatnot. Also in the chat room, it looks like Bearded CB joined us, and then I saw somebody else here in the chat room too that I just wanted to give a David Evans. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I'm hoping that you're really enjoying this show. This is stepping outside of my box, John, because this wasn't something that I'm sitting at work one day and I'm like, what would make a really good topic that we were kind of touching on, because you and I talked about last week, people wanting to hear more radio shows about certain kinds of topics. And you said conspiracy theories. And I thought, well, that would be interesting. How about let's put a twist on it? Let's look at it from the psychological or behavior point of view.
Right, and now you have people that I'm gonna take my toe out the box. I'm gonna lift my toe out of the box and step out of the box with just my toe. I'm not giving you an opinion. I'm just asking some questions here. Okay. Now I have been through marriage with my mother. Let's see, how do I do this the most appropriate way? Through my mother's many marriages, I have been different religions. Okay.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, it's like, we're Lutheran. Okay, we're Lutheran. No, we're Catholic. Wait, we're Seventh-day Adventists. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So I've been, most people would say, wow, that's crazy. I consider to be blessed. I have been blessed to have a lot of different viewpoints kind of almost thrust at me. All right.
Right.
And I've asked several questions. I was removed from parochial school for asking a question about purgatory. We talked about that on one of the shows before, so I won't dive back into that. But I asked this question in a Seventh-day Adventist church. I stood up. Excuse me.
John's hand raised in the air. Hello.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes. Can I ask you a question? I'm like, yes. Okay. Dinosaurs were big. Yes, dinosaurs are very big. They were like, oh my Lord, those are big things, and there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
Now, according to the Bible, all right,
Yep.
there was X number of days when people did not exist on this planet. Just go with me here, okay? Genesis, all right. In
Yeah.
the beginning, heaven and earth, all right.
Yep.
And then man is created, and then a woman is created. So there's two people like within a week, all right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
7 days.
So everything's there. So within a week, there's two people there. Okay. Okay. Now there are literally millions of dinosaurs roaming crazy through the planet. They're just eating stuff. There's giant dinosaurs full of teeth and all this. What book in the Bible is that in?
What? I'm sorry. What book in the Bible?
Jurassic period.
Are the dinosaurs in? Because man, no. Now remember, man's there from the first week, week 1. Man's there, and I'm not contradicting anyone's religious beliefs. Nothing. I'm asking a question. This is a question that my brain comes up with and asks. Okay. So fossils everywhere, dinosaurs, things in the ocean that eat other things, Tyrannosaurus Rex, gigantic plant eaters roaming the earth. Man's been there since week 1. What Bible book has the dinosaurs in it?
None that I can recall.
Do you think that nobody noticed those things? Do you think nobody noticed it at all? I mean, trust me, if Tyrannosaurus Rex is running around, I'm going to mention it. I'm talking about, hey, that thing there, it eats people. Doing an ankle on the other side of that bridge.
Adam and Eve, and oh, look, a great big goddamn Allosaurus Rex.
I would have been curious, and I am curious, what book of the Bible is it in? Because I just really don't believe that everybody on the entire planet didn't notice that.
There was only 2 people on the planet.
Well, no, but mankind lived and grew, and so begat so-and-so, and so begat so-and-so. But then all of a sudden you got these dinosaurs romping around. Someone's got to notice them. Someone's got to mention dinosaurs.
I just saw 2 T-Rexes fucking the other day.
Well,
Yeah.
we're not saying that. I'm just talking about large things with mouths full of teeth that eat whatever walks by. I would have mentioned it.
I'm sorry, I'm cracking jokes. I completely agree with you.
Poco Loco says Isaiah 27:1.
At the time the Lord will, what is that? Punished with his destructive, great, and powerful sword, Leviathan, the fast-moving serpent, Leviathan, the screaming serpent, will kill the sea monster. I'm not sure if I read that correctly because I don't have my glasses on, so I'm sorry if I.
It says, "At the time the Lord will punish it." At the time the Lord will punish. The chat room is moving faster than I can. With his destructive, great, and powerful sword, Leviathan. The fast-moving serpent, Leviathan. The squirming serpent, he will kill the sea monster. I'm not sure what that does. It just seems to me that, I mean, and trust me, if that's the only thing that you can find, then I'm questioning more. It just seems to me there would have been great beasts. They would have talked about beasts that were the size of whatever roaming over there. You know what I'm saying? It's just my brain. This is my brain. I'm not trying to create.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to create a conspiracy theory, but I have my own curiosity towards some different things that are in the Bible that aren't in there. That I'm like, hey, I think people would have noticed that. I don't think that you have all these dinosaurs roaming the earth and nobody noticed. I would think that somebody would have mentioned them in the Bible. That's just my
Or
opinion.
maybe there's just too many time gaps that nobody really accounted for when they were writing the Bible.
And I'm not trying to say that
I don't know.
I saw someone put in their scientists questioning the Bible, making people question the Bible. No. I'm not trying to say that. I have my own belief. I'm not so arrogant that I think that there's no greater power or there's nothing better than me. I'm not that arrogant. I don't have that arrogance. I just don't know what there is or why it is. Go ahead.
Well, I think Otis made very good up a good point because I was just talking about the time. Time is perception. Yours is not the same as God's. Millions of years to us is not the same for him. Maybe it could be a second, or I'll even expand on that. A minute, a day, an hour.
And that's a very good point that you make, Otis, because nobody's ever even said that to me before. And I've asked pastors, priests. I've asked this question before in a church, where you look up and you say, "There's the one who's teaching. There's the one who's teaching. Might I ask him a question?" And it's the eyes of youth coming to you saying, "Hey, I'm curious. Why is this not there? How did nobody figure this one out?" And instead of going, "Hey, here's an opportunity to grab a piece of youth, pull them to the side and nurture them and help them understand this is it." No, I got nothing.
Right.
I got chastised for questioning God.
Right.
So Otis just gave me an explanation that literally it makes sense.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe there was gaps in time, and maybe, like
So
you say,
maybe
time is different.
The principle of a day may not be a day.
Again, it goes back to perception, and didn't we have a show on that too?
Perception versus reality. Yes, we did. So see now, I want to make a point to Otis because he didn't call me idiot. He didn't say I was stupid. He just gave me an explanation, and I appreciate that when people will do that, because I'm literally asking a question for the purpose of learning, and to not be chastised for that is awesome.
No.
But like you said, time is perception. Mine's not the same as God's. Maybe God's is a million years. I don't know that. So since I don't know that, that could very well be the actual explanation. It could be.
And then some of the quotes too that Poco Locos put into the chat room, they're kind of lengthy. So I'm sorry, I can't. I don't have my glasses. But maybe some of his examples that he's put in there to help kind of piece everything together. But that is an interesting question, just coming from a place of wanting to know and get more knowledge about it.
I wish I had a copy and paste.
I see now, and by the way, this is a completely different direction for me with Poco Loco because he's trying to teach me something, and I appreciate it. Usually when he's trying to teach me something different, but I appreciate this. I appreciate this a lot.
It's good that people, that can pull out that kind of knowledge and say, okay, well, here's the example that I feel might, help you get a better understanding as to what's what and who's who.
Right. Now, and so the idea behind this, though, and why I brought that up was to give you a how like the birth of a conspiracy theory can happen. Because as a child, I had a question, and my question was, how did this take place? And nobody mentioned it. But then, and this is the reason I'm throwing myself into the therapy bus again. But then, as people began to push me away and say, "Don't ask that question. You don't need that. Stay away. You don't need to answer that question. Don't. You're denouncing God. You're blaspheming." That's when you begin to develop a conspiracy theory as a child, going, every time I ask these questions, people treat me this way. They're trying to hide this information from me for some reason. Why are the teachers of knowledge trying to hide this from me?
Yeah, why are you not? And then there you go. There's how conspiracy develops.
Exactly. That's the main
your
reason.
Behavior from cause and reaction.
There you go. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring that up. And the only reason why I went to this whole elaborate thing was I wanted to show you actually how, live on air, how can a conspiracy theory happen? A child's innocence can be thrown off to the side, and then all of a sudden they build a distrust. You're one of the teachers. You're one of the teachers. You're one of the ones designed to mold me.
You're supposed to guide me.
And yet you tell me that my questions are that of a blasphemous. I can't believe that any question could be that of a blasphemous. I always thought that was stupid in itself. But little by little, I began to wonder, why are they hiding this? And I know it's not a conspiracy theory. I understand that. But it can make a child begin to have that attitude.
And developed and carry that opinion throughout his adult life.
Oh, yes. And as Small just said, religion can be a good thing for society or a bad thing for society. And it's very true.
It's true.
If you look at the early days of what was his name there? Oh, the guy, I John, whatever his name was there from Ghana. What was his name? I can't say his name now for some reason. The People's Temple. Why can't I say his name?
John from Ghana.
He's the one that got all those people to commit suicide.
Oh, drinking the Kool-Aid?
Yes, the People's Temple. If you, I've heard people talk about them a long time ago, and I was like, I want to learn about that for real. I want to actually learn the truth about this, so I can understand and digest it. They started John Jones. Jim Jones. That's
Thank
it.
you, Thank you, Douglas.
Yes. Okay. So Jim Jones, believe it or not, in the very, very beginning, now you have to go back before they moved away to Ghana and before they moved the second time. They started out as a group that was just running around helping everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They had gardens and all this stuff. They were but then he became a power-hungry, crazy person, and then down the road they went. But in the very beginning, when you see it, it started from a moment of innocence where if someone was trying to be good and help people, that then became this horrible, awful Jim Jones thing that it became. This is what scars me, that they found 400 persons army in the Red Sea, same age as when Moses crossed it.
And I guess you can find more information on that. Where do you find it? worldnewsdailyreport.com.
Well, you know I'm not going to be able to pass that up. So.
I know.
They could have had a fucking tsunami for all we know.
But see, that I think, you make a good point there, John. How you are perceived when you are questioning something and not getting that answer could eventually turn into a possibility of having the opinion of a conspiracy theory.
Right. Now, what I always want to make sure I say is that's how a conspiracy belief is born. Your belief that there's a conspiracy here, when it's born, it's born from something. Okay.
Yeah. Has to come somewhere.
Yeah. You believe in this, and now your belief seems to be, for some reason, whatever that was, that's how the belief of a conspiracy happening. And then when you put it all together and you're like, this is what they're doing, now you've got a conspiracy theory. Well, at first you believe somebody's conspiring against you. All right?
Right.
And once you do, that's how you produce that theory, how this is happening and why is it happening. Let's see. Smile Money says...
you know what's really messed up, but honestly... It's a new kids movie, but check out the movie Bigfoot, I believe it is, or Smallfoot. That new or Littlefoot.
It ain't new.
No, it's pretty new. It's within the last year or two.
Oh no, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
The cartoon about the dinosaurs?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's about the abominable snowman.
Oh, okay.
Or Bigfoot or something.
They had some Land Before Time one that had a Littlefoot in it too.
Yeah, no, not that one. But this one actually has a great conspiracy theory with all the individuals, and they're doing it for a reason. Obviously, just like any kind of conspiracy theory, there's always a reason why they're keeping, the truth back. But it's a great kids movie, but it's also a great indicator of how conspiracy theories are born and maybe sometimes why they're born. They're born for the better good. Not always. They might be born for the individual that, is trying to keep something secret. But it's kind of interesting if you watch it because the truth gets unfolded.
Sounds like David said Smallfoot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just noticed something to hear. I want to back up here because every once in a while, Papa Loco just throws something down there and he walks away. You're like,
well,
But yeah, you're like, hold on, pick that up. What did you say? Pick that up. And he says, I kind of preached the sermon or two, and then he just walks away. So, do you have do you have was your father a preacher and you preached this a couple of times, or were you a preacher? Is there something there that I don't know that you want to
You're an
elaborate on, or
Or what? Yeah.
he does that. He just throws something on the ground and walks away. You're like, whoa, pick that up, explain it. What does that?
He's
Between you
pulling a
and
me.
between you, yeah, as I say, between you and Christine, it's just therapy for me all next week.
See, I knew there was a reason why I really liked him.
God, he just throws that down and walks away. Gotta preach a sermon or two. Okay, I'm out of here. Whoa. Talk about having a squirrel moment. That was a pack of squirrels who came over, took a dump on my shoe, and left.
I'm gonna be fucking
That is just too funny. Well, I'm glad to see that everybody's making comments in the chat room and throwing some things out there. A little food for thought. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for anybody out there listening who hasn't had the opportunity to join us in the chat room, it's not really all that hard. You can see. I know a lot of you like to watch the promos now, so you can go right onto that link. It'll ask you to sign up. Just sign up. No one cares about. You don't pay anything. You don't do anything. You just sign up so you can get notifications the show is on. But then you can join in the chat. So yeah, absolutely. Feel free to join in anytime. Christine loves when the chat room's rocking. She's very happy.
Oh, I am, because then I know I hit on a good subject that everybody's interested
But
in.
she can have 1,000 people listen to the show, okay, and 2 people in the chat room and pouts like there's no tomorrow. I show her charts. I show her charts for the people that are taking showers listening to her, and she pouts because, well, the instant gratification of knowing that the people are in there talking isn't happening, John.
Great. Now you're just going to piss off all the people that are going to listen tomorrow morning.
No, I'm just saying. I can show her all you folks that are listening in the shower to this show right now.
And so along that line, if you guys are enjoying the show, there is a like button. Please hit the like button. We'd like to see how many people really are enjoying the show this evening.
All you in the chat room.
Yeah, the chat room people.
Hold on,
Not
Paco,
the
hold on. Paco Local came back by, picked it up, and explained a little bit here. Let me go back there. It says, my grandfather was a Pentecostal preacher. I got in my 20s, and I attended a different church where I became an elder. Oh, and wow, he was an elder. Mm-hmm. My father was an elder in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So then nice. He knows he's very familiar with lay activities then.
Yeah.
That's what my father used to say. Oh, we're going to go home, have a meal, and have some lay activities. That meant sleep.
Gun wild.
Weird twinsies then. So yeah, no, I'm glad that everybody's enjoying it and that there's a lot of conversation going on in the chat room. Nothing against the people who will listen to this in podcast tomorrow, and thank you very much for doing that.
Well, they know that. They already know.
We don't want to leave anybody out.
They know. They're just a little freaked out right now because they keep hearing all these guys' voices and stuff like that. Our eyes are up here. Our eyes are up here. Yeah. I like to freak them out. But yeah, so there's. I was thrilled when you said the psychology behind it. Because I'm like, okay, then we don't have to do the whole do you, but we don't have to do that. We can talk about how they happen and the birth of one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I wanted to give that story about me. That was the birth of a conspiracy theory. I always wondered, why the hell is this guy against me so much? He doesn't want me to. He doesn't want me to know. I asked these questions to this guy, and he's offended immediately that I'm asking these questions. And my father finally came to me and said, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't want you to ever repeat it to him because it's not good for you to repeat it to him. I said, okay, well, what is that? He says, nobody's against you. Here's the problem. There are people that stand up in front of us and teach us things, and they don't know. Yeah. Like, what? He goes, they don't know. Mm-hmm. He's not able to answer your question. That's why your question offends him.
Yeah.
So what he should say is, you know what? That's awesome.
I don't know.
And next week, I'm going to do an entire sermon based off of that because you know what? I've never heard anybody do a sermon on that. My father said, I've never heard a sermon done on dinosaurs. Never. He said, I'm this old, and I've never heard anybody do a sermon on dinosaurs. You know what that means? There's one that nobody's heard. There's one that should happen. That should be done, because that you can't be the only person on this planet who has that question. He said there must be others, and we have to answer those people because they don't know. So let's teach them. He said that's what he should be saying to you. He said, but he's not, because he doesn't know.
That is a good point. What else is going on here?
I'm not quite sure. Something happened. I see. I like pushing everyone's buttons.
Yeah, and then
I like pushing buttons of sport.
Yeah.
Okay, they're just having fun about pushing buttons. Okay, all right.
David,
and talking about hemorrhoids.
David's an a-hole.
And see, I just wanted to let you know that I wasn't the one that brought up shitters, because I ain't talking about them.
But see, you're the first person to say it. First person to say it. There we go. Every freaking week. 56 minutes and 49 seconds is all it took her to turn me talking about religion and pastors to shitters. There we are. For all you folks that sit around and place bets, it was 56 minutes and 49 seconds. So pay up.
John's keeping track.
Holy moly. That's right. I don't think we have one show that doesn't have the word shitter.
I just said the word.
They didn't say the word. You the one who went, hey, here's my opportunity. I have the perfect chance to introduce shitters.
Oh, no. Just saying.
Paco Loco has just demonetized you. Yes, Dr. Steve, I had a very good dad. He was phenomenal. My father is just I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Most amazing person. But that's where he was. He was telling me, you know what? That's what the guy should have done. He didn't know the answer. That's what he should have done.
Well, I'm curious too, going back to this whole, the psychology behind it and people's, behaviors and where did how did this whole thought process start? The one thing that I didn't find, and I'm sure it's out there, but maybe I ran out of time, is percentage wise. I'd like to know really how many people are really hardcore believe in I shouldn't say all the conspiracy theories, but a conspiracy that they choose to believe wholeheartedly and heavily in, and those that are just kind of, they could take it or leave it. And then the ones that are just like, no.
Well, I can tell you this much. How the percentage of people that believe in some sort of conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to an age bracket. All right.
Okay.
24 and above, I would say 100%.
Really?
I don't because of what you said, and you have to listen to what you said. That's the hardest part for people to do, is hear that word and understand the definition, because we've been tainted. You said conspiracy theory.
A particular theory that they believe in.
Boyfriends, conspiracy theories. Ex-husbands, conspiracy. If he calls you, when you pick up the phone and he goes, Christine, don't hang up. What's the first thing that's in your brain? What's there, right? Immediately. This is bad. He's trying to pull something on you. Why would he call me? Whenever.
See, that's what I would be like, why am I getting this phone call?
That's right. You're right at that moment producing a conspiracy theory. At that very second. So
yeah.
When you hear the phrase conspiracy theory, this is what I want everybody to walk away from here. When you hear the phrase conspiracy theory, it's not a government thing. Jesus, Lord have mercy. It's not a government thing. Everyone associates it with a government thing. It's any time that you have a belief that an entity, a person, or a group of people has conspired against you to stop the truth from coming out about a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what someone has conspired against you to keep the truth away. The reason you believe the truth is being kept away is your theory. So there's a conspiracy theory. So, everyone over the age of 24 believes in conspiracy theory of some type, of some kind. It's just that when you hear the phrase conspiracy theory, immediately what you're drawn to, JFK, 9/11, you're drawn to government.
government or government related theories. And
Now
there's
ask yourself
quite a
this.
few out there though.
But ask yourself this: are there more government conspiracy theories than there are relationships destroyed by conspiracy theories? How many relationships a year do you think are destroyed by conspiracy theories? Every time someone goes, I'm going to buy a tracker and put it in her car. Why? Because I know what she's doing. That's a conspiracy theory. She's conspiring against you to keep you from knowing the truth about what she's doing. Or he's conspiring against you to keep you from knowing the truth about what he's doing. I just want people to understand what the word conspiracy theory is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want everybody to associate that with government, because it's not always government. Like I said before, they say they have conspiracy theories that run literally 10 times longer than the U.S. government has been in existence. And that's just the Vatican. That's just the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There are conspiracy theories about the Vatican that are 10 times the existence of the entire United States. So the U.S. would have had to have, it's 10 times older than the U.S. is. So,
yeah.
And they have conspiracy theories that run so far back it's not funny. So the conspiracy theory idea being just the United States government, that's not right. That's not right.
No,
Understand what it is first. You got to learn what is a conspiracy theory.
Well, Poco put something in the chat room saying that in 1967, the CIA created the label conspiracy theorist to attack anyone who challenged the, quote, official narrative. And then he gives an example of where you can find more information.
Well, yes, and the statement of conspiracy theorist is a label. It is a label, and it's there to we said this earlier on the show. It's there to add what's the word I want to say? A demoralizing aspect to that individual. So if you have a belief in something and you speak it out loud, like I saw I think I saw a UFO. Now, and that's another one, UFO. People go, oh my God, UFO. See,
yeah,
he's one of those people. When in actuality, if you threw an odd-looking frisbee that was shaped like a box and it flew across the sky, that would be an unidentified flying object. So,
but those I think are your more common, popular ones. You got your government, you got your religion, you got your UFO/alien.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's what people have leaned towards. And Paco makes a real good point there, because that was a narrative put out. But in actuality, the most popular, and this is not disputable, unfortunately, it's not. The most popular conspiracy theory in the world, in history, is either your husband or your wife is cheating on you. That is the single most popular there is.
But that's not something that everybody, I think, thinks about, for one thing, or gravitates towards that. Because like I said, most people are focusing on government, religion, UFOs, the ones that are out there and in your face, shall we say.
Oh, yeah.
But
and that narrative.
It's true from a relationship standpoint, because look at how many people end up either breaking up if they're in a long-term relationship, or if you're married in divorce because of it.
That's right. So that my significant other is cheating on me is the number one conspiracy theory there is. Now remember, what is a conspiracy theory? An individual, a group, or a unit is conspiring against you to keep the truth from being known. Okay? So yeah, your significant other cheating on you is the most, probably the absolute most in history, I would guess, biggest conspiracy theory. But the narrative, like Paco Loco was saying, definitely was placed out there by the United States federal government to make it look like people that have these certain types of beliefs are nutbags.
Yeah.
Because that way you can that's a switch you can turn on and off.
It's dismissive.
Right, but you can also turn it off. You can go, okay, well, here we go. Let them have some theories. And turn it on. There's a big group over there. Have this particular group now. They're conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can all laugh and chuckle. Have a media event. Laugh and chuckle at them, and then other people will join in and laugh and chuckle at them who just follow along.
Exactly.
So that's true. Yeah, he makes a very good point
Mm-hmm. What about crack?
They're having a very. If you look away from the chat room for a second, you're not gonna know where they are, Christine.
No. I just turned to look back and I'm like, where are we?
She turns around. You look out and you're like, I say it for Eric's show. Sells out. BS. What about crack? And you're like,
Yeah. I got nothing. Just saying, I got nothing.
Yeah, you look away from that. You look back. You're lost. You're absolutely gone.
Yeah.
So I think we covered some good stuff here. I don't think we degraded anybody or demoralized anybody by saying, because there's people we know that have a belief in certain directions. There's certain directions things go. There's people that have, and I have my own beliefs. And you have
everybody
your
has their beliefs, and some of them are stronger beliefs.
I don't want to, anybody who feels that there's no such thing as a conspiracy. I don't want to demoralize you. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to make you think. And if there's anybody who thinks that there is a conspiracy theory, I'm not here to demoralize you. I'm just here to make you think. All right, so that's why I wanted to take I spent a lot of time here tonight talking about what is a conspiracy theory, but not government. What is it when a person or a group or an entity conspires against you to stop the truth from coming out? So I think a lot of times people don't pay attention to what it really actually is. If you have that in your mind, then anybody saying conspiracy theorist, laugh at them. You're not going to laugh. You're going to go, well, that's just somebody having their own opinion. That's fine. Have your opinion. I don't care. I have my opinion.
Yeah. But I think nothing else.
Is the grocery store out? Is the grocery store out to get me by keeping bag salad in front and not letting me see the heads of lettuce first? I think they're out to get me.
Marketing.
That's why I have a bumper sticker that says, "Help! The paranoids are after me."
But I think this was a good topic to put out there because, like you say, most people, if you said to them, what is a conspiracy? Well, automatically 9 times out of 10, they'd probably say the government, or they would say religion is, or one of the more popular ones that, like I said, are out there and in your face. But when you actually take a step back and think about what the definition of a conspiracy is, and, secondly, how people, react to all of the information that's out there and all these horrific things that do happen, and not just say, well, it's a conspiracy for this, that, and the other thing. You got to take a good, long, hard look and make your own determination.
Do you know?
And if you have a opinion about it, then bravo.
Do you know where I get my most conspiracy theories from? Where I develop my most conspiracy theories from? My children. They tell me stories. They try to keep the truth from me. They don't want me to know what they were doing. They conspire against me to keep me from knowing the truth. I say, how was school today? It's great. What'd you do?
Nothing.
I'm just going to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Whoa, stop.
Wait, what? Yeah.
What did you do today? I went to school. There was learning. There was stuff like that. I got homework to do. What kind of homework? Jesus. I don't know. It's homework. She gave it to me. Who is she? Who is she? It's a female teacher. Who is she? You're conspiring against me to keep me from knowing the truth of what you did today. Most of my conspiracy theories have come from my many decades of childhood. And they know why. They did it to me. Then 2 years of being on this show. Holy crap. You want to talk about some conspiracies? She conspires against me to put me into the therapist chair on a daily basis.
I do not.
Just admit it, John. You peed on a wall. Just say you peed on a wall, John. Just say it. Say I peed on a wall.
I didn't even know that about you until you said that story out loud. On the air, I might add.
She conspires against me to get me to tell people things about me. And then she sits back and goes, I never said a word. He just walked out here and said, "I peed on the wall." Did you hear that? He just walked out here and said. So yes, we're having a little comic moment at the end because it's actually the truth. Kids conspire against their parents to keep them from knowing the truth. So if you're a parent or a grandparent, I'm telling you right now, those are conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? The grandkids want the big nickel and they want the payoff.
Yeah.
They want the dollar.
They want the payoff.
So where you go? Oh yeah, I was good. Yeah, don't listen to mom. No, what does mom know? She's your daughter. You know she conspired against you, Grandpa, when she was little. I'm innocent. Give it out. See?
Mm-hmm. See how that goes. Boy, there's like all comments going on in the chat room. I can't even keep up anymore.
Remember, don't look that direction because you'll be lost.
It does kind of throw me off from time to time.
All I know is that's the code for love. Love is dribble, and truth is yours or mine. Whatever that means.
Mm-hmm. So, what did you think of the subject overall? Any final?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like coming from my direction, and I also like when you and I have an opportunity. I have my thought.
Mm-hmm.
You have yours, I have mine. We can both put them out there and kind of mix them together and see what it was. I didn't want to come from the approach of this is fake. I didn't want to do that. You didn't do that. That wasn't it. I wanted to come from when you said the psychology of conspiracy theories. I was like, see that I like that because the other direction is just nothing more than a bunch of people just everybody's peeing on the floor. You know what I mean? Oh, I believe in this. Oh, I don't think. Oh, pee on the floor, and they just peeing on each other. Yeah. It's like a bunch of crazy. So have your belief, have your feelings, and all that. But today was not about us, having to protect ourselves and protect somebody else's feelings. It was about how does it happen? How does this happen? Where did they come from? What makes them happen?
And I think that you have to make sense of that too. You have to look at it and say, how does this happen? And why do we think this way? And if something devastating that we deem devastating in our life, affects us, how do we wrap our heads around it? And why do some people choose to go down that path and say, well, here's the theory.
I'm looking at Gunwald once. Small one, he says, follow, you need to monitor. I'm not the host, though. I'm not sure. Is there a sound issue or what? Or too much info or what?
You have Nikki Sixx in your pants? Really, Eric?
I want Gunwild to come find him.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Too much info. Okay. I thought he was saying that we were talking too much. I was like...
Yeah, because I'm like...
Well, I will always ask before I become buddy. So I wanted to ask.
I had to back up and look at that and go, okay, what? Really? Mm-hmm. All right, then.
But no, I enjoyed it. I think we got some good information out there. I think it was a topic delivered in a different direction. It doesn't get... I don't hear anybody talk about it like that,
No, not really. I didn't either. So I thought this was a good one to put out there. And you need to back off my boyfriend, Nikki, okay? Hands off.
No, that's fine. If I was gay, Stalker Steve would be, yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, my ears are bleeding, my brain is bleeding, my eyes are bleeding. I think Eric's been trying to keep the truth from you, Christine.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy.
And now I agree with Gunwild One. Too much info.
So anyway,
he doesn't need to find Nikki. He's been there and he's done that. Okay.
He's got his autograph and everything. Remember, we had that talk on my show, which was awesome.
Which, by the way, was a freaking awesome show and very, very popular, mind you.
Yeah,
I think that was one of those. Did you hear that? No. Oh, you got to listen to that one because it became popular after the fact.
Yeah,
That one still gets. I mean, that gets hits every day.
Still get hits?
Every single day gets. Oh, that was
Right.
popular.
Yeah, that was good. I think anytime you talk about music in any kind of light,
It was
people
huge.
are very.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Well, but also having knowledge of what you're talking about, like with Ray
Right.
Edwards, with Big Jeff. If you get me on, I'm gonna be going. They're gonna be going, what'd you think about Rat? I'm like, yeah, Rat was cool. Yeah, that was. I enjoyed a lot of stuff. What is it? The Out of the Cellar album. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, no one's tuning in. They're gonna be like, how many times can the Dingleberry say that was cool? We're gonna change the name from Radio and Behind the Scenes of the Music with John to That Was Cool. Fruit Loops, that was cool. Lucky Charms, that was cool. Yeah, you don't want. Yeah. I can enjoy it, but there's not a really deep intellectual conversation happening.
Gun Wild says, "Really?"
Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. That's still not just was a popular. That still is a popular show.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing in the chat room, we need to send the authorities to Smile Money's house. He's been abducted.
The California Raisins must have showed up and took him away.
So, this was a good subject. I'm glad we talked about it. One other thing or two that I want to talk about before we end the show this evening is to talk about Justin's final mission. And that is something that we, John and Eric and I and Jim and quite a few other people have been doing for some time now. And so I am going to turn the mic over to Eric, and he's going to explain what's currently happening with Justin's final mission.
Well, thanks to all of the big support for everything else that we've been doing, helping Mr. Holster, helping Ed. We started off helping Ed, and then we moved on to helping Ed's family. And we've really been so busy that we've kind of gone away from Justin's final mission. But right now we're back, and it's greatly thanks to the Real Cobra Burnout. We did a fundraiser for Mr. Holster. We raffled off an AR pistol chambered in 5.56, and he turned around and donated it back to me and said I could do whatever I want. Of course, one of his primary things that he had on there was Justin's final mission, or wherever I saw fit. So if for some reason that you've missed all of the other videos that have been done, and I would like to take the opportunity, thanks to YouTube, the one thing I would really greatly appreciate is sharing, doing videos to support my video, because you can have a channel that hasn't been knocked down by YouTube and do a video showing how to, glue an extra wing on a gnat's ass, and all of a sudden it'll get 10,000 views. But we're busy trying to help active heroes and stop veteran suicide and cue the crickets. So the one thing I would love, if nothing else, is support. Doing support videos, sharing it on all of your active social media places. We have the rifle that Real Cobra Burnout donated back, and it's on Active Heroes. $10 for every $10 you donate, and the very first thing you need to do in your donation is put AR pistol. We will give you one entry in a drawing to win that rifle. So if you make $20, that's 2 entries. $100 is 10 entries, so on and so forth. And we're going to do this for 2 weeks. It's all done at midnight on January 18th. On January 19th,
Excuse me.
Christine, Ms. Bomey, is going to have Mario Mosen on as her guest, and they will be talking veteran suicide. And if you don't know who Mario is, or you do know who Mario is, you know he's in the military. He's very compassionate. He is a leader. He has had to deal with the loss of soldiers under his command. And I know this weighs greatly on him, and he wants to talk about this. That night, we will do the live drawing and give away that rifle.
Now I want to jump in real fast, real quick. I don't want to be rude, but I want to jump in here because we have a different type of audience. So I want to make sure we stop and hit the brakes for 1 second. Everybody understand the only way this can be done is through an FFL, federally firearms licensed individual. There is no conceivable way for you to put $10 in there and obtain the firearm if you are not going through an FFL, which is going to require your background search and all that stuff. If you are not able to do that, don't bother. Thanks for the donation, but don't bother. I just want to make sure people understand that not just you can't just like put in $10, win this, and then have something if you're not supposed to have it. Not possible. Okay, you have to be able. You will be required to present us with your FFL information, and then our FFL will transfer this to your FFL, and then you'll go through your background check process. Sorry.
No, absolutely. Thank you, John. We've got our group up on Facebook, and we've been doing this for a while to help friends. And that's the one thing you need to legally be able to get this rifle. I mean, if you need to fill out some paperwork and a little time needs to be happen, we're willing to wait. Because if for some reason it turns out you're a no-go, we're just going to turn around and do something else and raise more money for Justin's Final Mission. But the bottom line is you need to legally be able to receive this rifle. So that's on, this closes on January 18th. Christine and Mario will be giving this away live on the 19th. Between now and then, you know, we still have a few more shows. So all I'm going to say is there might be some extras thrown in. I have no idea what John and Jim have up their sleeves. So you might want to pay attention to Jim's show between now and then. Otherwise, again, a big thank you to the Real Cold Turnout for making this happen. We've already made the money. We did this on Snowflake Milter. We raised money to help Mr. Holster fight cancer. And those guys that have been asking me what's next, we have a beauty coming up, and it will be another fundraiser for Mr. Holster. So keep tabs on that. But for right now, what is important to us is Justin's Final Mission and this AR-15 pistol. It's a Palmetto State with a 10.5-inch barrel, Magpul furniture for a grip. It has a Midwest Industries handguard on it, and it has the really, and I can say this because I have it on my pistol, the SBA-3 stabilizer, which, you know, we can banter back and forth, but let's just say that it's a stabilizer, but it's adjustable, just like a stock is. So.
And then also don't forget with that giveaway that we're doing, Stalker Steve is throwing in some electronic headphones, and Gun Wild was going to throw in some ammunition for the AR. And thank you to you guys who have donated that as well.
And they're both in the chat room, so a big thank you. I can never say enough about Stalker Steve. Every single time something like this comes up, Stalker Steve is one of the first people on board, and Gun Wild 1 has donated ammunition to almost every single one of these fundraisers that we have done. So thank you. These guys are part of our family.
And we now have a total of 3 people who haven't disappeared from AR winning. Me, Stalker Steve, and Brian McCown.
Yes.
3 people that are still visible. So the curse has been broken.
Yeah.
And something that just because I'm a foodie, Boondockas is putting together a care package for the winner of this package.
Oh, that's awesome. And you guys, I'm going to tell you, I talked to Eric today. For all you folks that are listening that aren't familiar, that's Mrs. Bowman's husband, and the guy you hear talking right now. You'll be able now, everybody who does something for Boondockers, all I want you to do is somewhere in there put hashtag my Boondockers. So if you do a video or even a picture of Boondockers, make sure somewhere in there you put hashtag my Boondockers. And what will happen is it all gets compiled. So you can go onto YouTube right now and type in my Boondockers. You'll see 2 videos from me. Me unboxing Boondockers, and then me actually cooking steaks with Boondockers. Steak and potatoes. And by the way, wow, Boondockers on potatoes is just stupid good. But what's funny is I made the steaks, right? Then now a lot of people don't do this, and why? I don't know. You're afraid of a microwave, or you don't know what it does. But starting potatoes in a microwave is smart. It's smart, and it works very, very well. I throw the potatoes in the microwave whole, try to jam some holes in them, and I start them in the microwave, okay? Then I take them out, so they're already beginning to get soft. Then I slice them up, and I throw them in the pan. But that's after I take the steaks out, so all the yummy little brown bits and the goodness of the Boondockers is all over the pan. I throw the potatoes in there, stir them around, let them finish cooking. They come out covered in Boondocker dust, and it's like, it's like, no, there's finger looking good, but then there's like arm looking good. When I'm eating Boondockers, it's arm looking good. If it gets on my arm, I'm going to lick it off there.
And John Gunwell made the comment, and the steak and the potatoes were touching.
Okay, now hold on. The two of those are solid, so they can touch for a moment. Okay, but I did eat them clockwise separately as I put them.
Okay, we get it.
Can I ask what? Why?
70s porn music.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, there we go. Yes, that should have been playing during my steak video. It should have been playing.
My second experience, which was equally as good as my first Boondockers experience, because I poured Boondockers all over my chicken wings for our New Year's Eve get-together, thinking that I would be stealthy and get it all to myself.
No.
And then Christine was like, is that the Boondockers? And she's like, wow, that's really good. And she's taking it. Then my mom hears her. My mom starts double dunking off of my plate. It's like, do you just want me to get the damn bottle?
Yes.
So tonight, my neighbor was over with some fresh venison steaks. He did the beef and game rub, and sauteed them up in a pan, and that was really good. And then just for the fun of it, I took a little of the barbecue sauce and put it on my plate, kind of like you would normally do A1 or steak sauce. And oh my God, he
was having a food orgasm. Let's just sum it up. Okay, there you go.
Let me put it this way. I am not a venison fan, and I don't know if it was something to do with the preparation of the meat through Matt's processor, or if it's all thanks to Boondockers, but that was the best piece of venison I've ever had.
And Otis 71, steak on the stove. Go back and look at my video, and you'll notice, and this is not a joke, when I do steak on the stove, it actually is done in a very special pan that weighs 6.5 pounds.
Cast iron?
It's cast iron. It's totally overcoated. It's actually got ribs in. It's got ribs in it all the way through it, so I can actually get my line. A very, very special pan. So, steak on the stove. Otis 71. I am freaking magic. Well, Boondockers is really good and makes my food taste like magic.
And did I hear something about that? Hopefully, they will be on Amazon soon.
Yes. Hopefully
Nice.
soon, because you know what? I like the whole. I don't know, for all you males out there that are lazy like me. I'm not really lazy. It's just that I'm a guy. So like when you go, oh, I need to get some gifts for some people. And they go, well, just go run down to the store and see what they have. See, that's the part I don't like. Just
Yeah.
go run down to the store and see what they have. Because you walk into Walmart and you go, they have a lot of things. There's way too many things. Like I don't know. People like sauce though, and they like rubs. So for me, it's like perfect gifts. What do you give the person who has everything? Boondockers. What do you give the person who
Oh
has
yeah.
nothing? What do you give the person who has nothing? Well, they need some boondockers. What do you give
I
the person who hates everything? Boondockers. The person who loves everything, they need boondockers.
I think they were doing baskets or something too on
Yes.
their
And
Facebook page.
I freaking missed it. Because I would have
Yeah.
been the guy who went, basket of boondockers? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So
See,
yeah.
I mean, that's my thing is if I can
Mhm.
just like something like that I know is going to score though. It's like sending you and Eric a present. I can send beer,
Yeah.
it'll score. You don't like beer,
Yeah.
so I can send wine and a beer. It's not really that great, but if I send boondockers, I know you're going to enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, I like that whole aspect of sending that.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And like I always say, it's okay to rub your butt as long as you're using your butt rub.
So Eric, you just put that up in the chat room
Yeah, for Boondockas on
For-
Facebook.
for my Facebook.
As soon, yeah, trust me, I will be doing a video. John will be doing a video. You'll hear about it. They're a sponsor of the John Solar Radio Network and all of our shows, not because they came to us, because we went to them and said,
That's right.
"Holy crap, this is like the best stuff we've ever tried."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Right now they're getting screwed by Walmart, but they within the next week they should be up on Amazon, and as soon as that happens, you guys will all know from us.
Oh yeah, I mean, and if you're like me and you're like, I don't want to go to the store. Like I said about the gift thing, God, that's so perfect. You know what I mean?
Mhm. It is. That's a good idea. So yeah, and not just you, Eric. You know, I have the cooking channel, so I will be making some stuff as well. Maybe
Ooh,
try the
No.
box with it.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
the Ms. Boney's Boondockers special.
Mm-hmm.
You could do like a series.
Mm-hmm. Different ways to make different things. Poco Loco tastes so good, make you slap your mama.
Yeah, Boondockas make your meat spicy.
So that's it. That's your show.
Smile when he says Eric even licked the Boondockers bubble wrap.
Yeah.
I seriously thought about it. It smelled so.
Yeah. Don't. No.
Thank you, USPS.
Yeah. Let's not. No. Let's not go down that road again. I've heard about this multiple times.
Oh, but you gotta realize the hell that is what happened to Eric.
I know. I lived it. Hello.
You go there and just seeing the box makes you behave a certain way. Okay, just seeing the box, you already know the contents, and then you open it and it's like, oh my god.
I logged into our security system and I saw Christine picking up a box in a plastic bag. I'm sorry. I've been around long enough that when the postal service drops off your package in a plastic bag, shit has gone bad.
That's right. And especially when you're waiting on your Boondockers, that just is like, are you kidding me? Please,
You're gonna get more.
Please let it be the butt rub so I can just tip the box upside down, scoop it all into another container, and I'll be fine. Don't be one of the bottles.
Don't let it be the spicy one that everybody's talking about. Oh my god, it was the spicy one. I'm gonna lick the bubble wrap.
Yeah. Don't do that because you'll end up like me when I ate the glass.
Yeah.
Mess you up. All right, so next week.
Next week, our topic is going to kind of continue along this line. We're going to talk about conspiracies. We're going to talk about the popular ones. We're going to talk about our thoughts and our opinions. We're not going to dive down that rabbit hole and be like, I think this, or I am telling you this, and you should listen to me kind of attitude. That's not what it's all about. We just want to talk about conspiracy theories, the popular ones, the not so popular ones, and see where that goes. Because now you got a better understanding, because we talked about the behavior behind it, the psychology behind it. So now you have some food for thought for next week when we continue.
Yep. And we'll be telling you how we feel about a few things. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean we're wrong. It just means here's our feelings, our beliefs on it. So if you can conduct yourself appropriately, be here. You know, I just don't want anybody to flip out like, no. Some people have that attitude. Well, if you don't believe this and you think it's like, you're an idiot. Don't have that attitude.
No, don't bring that attitude to the table. We're just going to talk about what's out there, you know, what you feel about it, what your opinion is, what's mine, what's John's, and just be respectful of it. That's all that I ask.
Because there are things out there where I would say, you know what? I don't know. I don't think it's like that. And you go, well, do you think they told you the whole truth? No. I have those in my brains where it's like, do I believe what everyone's saying? It's that. Well, not necessarily. Well, do you think they told you everything about it? No, I don't think they told me everything about it. Do I think they're keeping some of it from me? Yes, I think they're keeping some of it from me. So if anybody is, or an entity is keeping something from me, keeping me from knowing the whole truth, then yes, it is a conspiracy, and that's my theory. So I may not believe the whole thing the way Bob and Tom and Frankie and 14 million other people do, and they go, there's 14 million people who believe it that way. And I go, I don't necessarily believe it that way, but I don't really think they told me everything. I think they are keeping something from me.
And I do hope that people will join us in the chat room next week and put their thoughts out there too, as to what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and you know, have a conversation about it. That's all.
Yep, absolutely.
You guys in the chat room need to really figure this crap out. Shitter Talk is always Saturday. Wookiee Love is Wednesday. And
Midgets are on Friday.
Poco Loco, I don't really give a crap when you're selling your hookers.
Wookiee Wednesday. I like it.
Sailors and midget pirate hookers. Okay, that's just messed up. That's just messed up. See people out there that go, I don't want to join in the chat room because I might be afraid of, you know, they're not going to like me. These people like anybody.
Yes,
they just want to talk. That's it. They want to talk, and you can talk about dogs with wooden legs. And these guys will have a conversation with you about it, and probably know more about dogs with wooden legs than you do.
Oh yeah, you just never know.
Oh yes. So trust me, being here in the chat room is a lot of fun. Plus, you meet some people. We've had people pop in here that we've never even heard of before, and found out they have channels on Spreaker and stuff. So you know, you get a chance to meet some cool people, have a conversation. It doesn't go the way it normally does. That's one thing Christine and I are proud of. Yeah, this conversation does not go the way things normally do.
Yeah, it's not scripted. No way.
Nobody's coming to tell you you're just a freaking. No, I'm not interested in that. I got my thoughts. She has her thoughts. We don't agree on everything. Her and I don't agree on everything. Absolutely not. I still to this day say pizza that's 5 days old in the refrigerator is fine.
No,
it is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
No and no. And
she mops her floor on a regular basis, and if she makes one of those meatballs, and it hits the floor, I'm eating it. I'm eating it.
All I'm gonna say is damn right, Gunwild won.
What did he say? Yes, that's it.
But so hey, you know, it's a conversation that doesn't go the wrong way. We like to have our piece. We have to say our things. Christine doesn't always agree with me. I don't always agree with Christine. Sometimes we have a lot of fun not agreeing with each other. I may wind up in therapy for a day or two, trying to explain why she's picking on me. Okay. But hey, it is what it is.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Why are you pointing to the clock on the wall?
Because he's got a thing below it that's off to the left-hand side.
Oh, bearded CB. Anyways, that's what our topic is going to be for next week. So I hope you guys will be back joining us. This was awesome. Thanks everybody in the chat room that joined us this evening. 402 comments and 1 like.
No, you have more than 1 like.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah,
You have a hell of a lot. You have a hell of a lot more.
I'm sorry. I didn't refresh the button. I didn't just. I'm
10
sorry.
likes.
Thank you. 10 likes. What? You keep looking at the clock on the wall.
They're messing with me.
I'll say. So, anyways, that's it.
Yes.
Thanks everybody who
Gunwild.
joined us tonight in the chat room. And that's listening to us live. That will be listening to us on podcast. And I just want to leave you with a little quote for today. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% on how you react to it.
Indeed. And on that note, we're out of here.
Good night. Have a good week. It's coming. Patience, grasshopper.